Someone, anonymous, asks me, do you think the migrant crisis is an even bigger issue than Brexit? Well, in some ways, it's a very similar issue, isn't it? Because one of the most decisive reasons that Brexit happened was people voted to take back control of their borders. And patently, we are not doing that in any way at all. In fact, we're being humiliated, frankly, on the world stage on a daily basis. And if you talk about migration, whether it's illegal in the case of the Channel or whether it's legal, you know, net migration, net legal migration running at 300,000 a year just puts the most enormous pressure on the health service, on housing, on all of our public services. And it can fundamentally change the shape of our communities. So I think in many ways, the immigration issue has been the biggest issue in British politics for the last 15 years, and yet people find it too awkward, too difficult. They'd rather simply not talk about it. Well, now they can't do that. Gareth asks, who would be your worst and best celebrity to be in the I'm a Celebrity jungle with? So literally every single year, the Daily Star, they begin it, and it's often followed on by some of the other tabloids. There's the story that Nigel Farage has been asked to go into the jungle. And I have to say, I have been asked several times to go into the jungle. I don't want to go into the jungle. I really just don't want to do it, even though they offer an awful lot of money to do so. If I was there in the jungle, well, I'm not going to name names right at this stage, but I'd want somebody with me that was practical, because I'm not terribly practical, somebody that could mend things if they broke. And, you know, the worst nightmare to be there with, I think Theresa May's top of that list, to be honest with you. Hamish asks, is a general election needed? Well, no, it's not needed, because the last one was less than 2 years ago, and the government has a big working majority, and I tell you what, there isn't going to be one. Paul asks me, do you think there will be a U-turn by the government in terms of public transport in the north? And honestly, anything's possible with this lot. U-turns are an absolute, in fact, sort of rapid handbrake turns, I think, better described. Something Boris is incredibly good at. Just think about the other week after the Owen Paterson situation. Within 24 hours, they'd done a complete 180. When it comes to that spur line going up from the West Midlands through the East Midlands, I thought that was the one part of the HS2 project I rather liked. One last question. Jimmy on GBNews asks me, can't we take one of our many Scottish islands and turn it into a migrant processing centre, just like what Australia did? Well, we'd need, I think, to get some support and approval from Nicola Sturgeon. That wouldn't be easy. But you know what? We will, over the course of the next few weeks, talk more about the solutions. And I think that really, really matters. What would it take for you to establish a new political party is one question. Talk about that another day. It's not an easy thing to do.